I looked away, and then just loud thud behind me. My dad had fallen to the ground. I was extremely skinny at the time, so I couldn't even like lift him up or like get him back to life. They didn't think I was good enough, right? They didn't think I was valuable. My ideas were never heard. This was someone who paid me $50 for copywriting. Other copywriters were charging like $800, $700 for the exact same thing. I constantly had to brainwash myself that the voice I was hearing in my head was not correct. I had to delude myself. It was like an exercise every single day. I was in Nigeria. Like if this didn't work out, there was nothing else. Most like you look at a Nigerian, you think scammer, you think cheap labor, you think so many different things, but you don't think someone who is capable of making 100K per month. I think it's pain. Like I just had so much pain that I did not need anything to motivate me. Everyone, my name is Adesina. I run a client acquisition consulting firm that partners with high achieving experts all around the world to help them build a real business around their expertise and see consistent clients in their business.
And I see. Very interesting. I mean, the most interesting thing about your story is the fact that you're Nigerian living in Nigeria. So not a Nigerian living overseas, but a Nigerian living in Nigeria, running a business that's doing 100K a month USD. Run me through kind of your story from, day zero all the way to where you're at now.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to prove your point, this may happen, this may not happen, but the lights may go out sometime in this podcast. So if that happens, then you'd really know I'm in Nigeria. Yeah, but I guess the beginning of the story starts from university days. So a lot of people, I think like the typical story for entrepreneurship is, especially for young people, is they are going to university, realize school is a scam and they drop out. For me, that wasn't necessarily the case. I was in school to become a doctor. Somewhere along the line, financial crisis hits my family and we can't afford the tuition anymore. So I have to drop out, not by choice, but by reason of circumstance. And at the time I dropped out, it was actually like my parents didn't want me to drop out because my dad was still like fighting. My dad is someone who had always been a proponent for my goals and everything that I want to achieve. And so he was really prepared to kill himself. And I mean that literally, because the day I decided to drop out was the day my dad collapsed, right? So my dad was sick. I came home for holiday. He was sick and I escorted him to the clinic to get some drugs, some treatment. And he, not long after getting an injection, we walked out of the clinic. He stood for a minute. He said he just needed to like get some fresh air. I looked away and then just loud thud behind me. My dad had fallen to the ground and I never felt more powerless in my life because my dad seemingly unconscious. I was extremely skinny at the time, so I couldn't even like lift him up or like get him back to life. And I genuinely thought like my dad had died in that moment. Thankfully, like the nurses rushed out. I don't know what magic they worked, but thanks to God, he came back, he regained consciousness. And that day I knew I had to drop out because I knew he was good, like he was starving himself for my comfort. And at the same time, I felt like a glorious future was not necessarily guaranteed for the path that I was on, because in Nigeria, the minimum wage is $45 a month. And as a doctor, I chose medicine because that's just slightly better. So maybe if I'm good enough, I'd make $150 a month. So it was like, okay, losing my dad $150 a month, like it wasn't balanced to me. So I decided I'm going to quit this, even though I didn't really know what I was going to become. Immediately after like dropping out, 2 years of depression, eventually I realized people make money online through influencers. Google searches, how do I make money online, learn about dropshipping, Forex, affiliate marketing, all that stuff. Soon enough, I learned there's no get rich quick scheme. And I wanted to like actually master a skill that people would consider me valuable for. And so I mastered copywriting and just broader aspect of marketing and advertising. Started freelancing with that skill. From there, I built a marketing agency. From the marketing agency, I converted that into a consulting firm, which is where we're at now.
Very interesting. And just one bit I kind of want to dive a little bit deeper on is this. This is like a mindset thing, and it's like for you, give me some context there. It's for someone, it could be like, oh, because my dad is sick, and because of that, I'm not going to work hard anymore because I feel like my life is over. For you, you chose the other path. You're like, because my dad was sick, I'm going to work even harder. Like, why did you choose the latter and not the former? Because they're just mindsets, they're just POVs, they're just perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's like same person, same situation, different, mindset resolve. And I don't know, maybe I have some luck, but I've just always been that kind of person who doesn't give up. I think maybe it stems from a deep insecurity of not wanting them to be right. And by them, I mean, when I was growing up, a lot of the friends and family around me didn't think I was good enough, right? They didn't think I was valuable. My ideas were never heard. Even when it came time to go to the university and study medicine, my dad was really the only person who believed I was smart enough to become a doctor. He was the only person who really invested in me. Like many other people were just study anything. And so it was more from a perspective. I guess the thing that was driving me was, if I allow all of these reasons and circumstances around me to bring me down, then they were right. Then it's true that I was never worth it and I can never create something of value. So I have this deep drive to want to be recognized for major impact. And I guess that's why I didn't see it from that perspective.
So that was kind of your first challenge. And your second challenge, and I think we touched base on this earlier today, was the fact that you were in Nigeria and you sounded Nigerian, and that the general perception of Nigerian isn't someone that can provide 100K per month USD or value, but rather maybe someone that could provide $2 an hour worth of value. How were you able to kind of build that value and show someone? And what challenges did you face in order to kind of build that value and really change your perceptions?
Oh, that's a good question, man. I like it. Yeah, that's the current worldview of Nigerians, and how I like to think about systems like that is, first need to, you can't get upset at it. Like, you first need to accept that that's the reality. So you need to get into the system to be able to break the system. And so my first ever client was someone who underpaid me for my work, right? This was someone who paid me $50 for copywriting. And at the time, the $50 was for me to provide 10 emails in a welcome sequence for an e-commerce brand. And other copywriters were charging like $800, $700 for the exact same thing. So I knew I was being underpaid, but also this was my first opportunity. This was like my first chance. And I had two options. I could have taken on the mindset of many other people and be like, oh, I'm just Nigerian, this is what they think of me. Or I could have had the mindset, which I eventually had, of, oh my goodness, someone trusts me. And this is my opportunity to do bigger things. So what I did with that one client who paid me $50 is I delivered even more value than the $50 that got her to a point of guilt. So she felt like it got to a point where she would reach out to me and say that, hey, I feel so bad, I'm not paying you enough. What can I do for you? I'm like, you don't have to do anything for me. Like, just whenever you need me, tell me that you need me. And she eventually starts to bring me on to way more projects. And this is helpful because she is earning, she's getting high ticket projects. I'm talking like $5,000 projects. And she would bring me along to those projects. So the market is respecting her. I'm looking at her and saying she deserves $5,000, and she brings me along. So now I have access to $5,000 worth of respect and projects because I associated myself with her and I provided so much value to her. And that was like my biggest hack, right? Just being able to look at someone on the other side who's already what I want to be and provide them so much value that I'm able to leverage their credibility and attach myself to them so that the market can not just discriminate me based on where I'm from, but understand that it's the value that I'm providing.
So to get from 0 to 100K per month USD, what was that journey like? Like, did you take some sales calls at the start? Like, what were the trials and tribulations that you went through before you were able to get there and then be where you are now?
Tough one. It wasn't easy, right? So I would say like my journey started with the whole freelancing thing. First, with freelancing, I went like 6 months of everyday application without getting a client, just like applying to jobs on Upwork every single day. Um, and I think the final week I gave up, where I was like, you know what, like screw this, it's not working. I'm throwing in the towel. That was when this first client reached out to me from a job I had applied to like 2 months prior and gave me that first chance. And then I took that chance. She brought me on to way more projects. We were freelancing together. Late 2022, this was 2021, I started freelancing. Late 2022, I learned about Imangaji and about how I can go from just like freelancing to building a marketing agency. And so I started building a marketing agency and I realized that, okay, I'm stuck. Like, I don't know how to actually get clients. So this is the point where I make my first investment into mentorship in 2023. So it was a business program. It cost $10,000 US. And I had to borrow money to be able to get into that program, to be able to make it worth it. From there, I spent 6, 7, 8 months. I can't remember. I think it was 8 months because it was from February I joined the mentorship, and I didn't get my first client until October, which is like, I think that's about 8 months. Yeah. So 8 months, 41 sales calls, all rejections until the 42nd one that I took. And that 42nd sales call was where I finally closed my first client.
Because if you really, really think about it, just to rewind a little bit, it's like 41 times 1 hour each. So 41 hours of sales calls. And every one of those 41 times, you're like, this is it. This is going to be the sales call. This is the one where my life, my business is going to change. And it didn't change until the number 42nd one. So, I mean, throughout all of those 41 times, what kept you going? Like, what was the one thing behind you that was like, all right, continue going? Because I'm sure the next one is going to be like that breakthrough sales call.
Just the delusion that I am capable of it, right? It's like, it's very easy to lose faith in yourself. That's the hardest part. Like, when you keep getting rejected, the voice in your head now tells you that you're not worth it and you suck, and everybody knows you suck. That's why you haven't made it work. And if you believe that voice in your head, then you quit. And so I constantly had to brainwash myself that the voice I was having in my head was not correct. I had to delude myself. It was like an exercise every single day to reconvince myself that no, like I can do it. And that's what kept me going.
Did you have a few times that you're like, man, I think, like if this doesn't work, I'm done? Like, did you have one of those lows where you're like, you were so close to quitting, but then for whatever reason or for whatever belief, you decide, hey, let's hold on for one more, and then one more, and then one more, and then one more till you made it?
Absolutely. I would say one of those moments was like towards the end of my mentorship program. So like, it was like a 6-month mentorship, and it was like, it started in February. By August, it was going to end, and I hadn't yet signed a client. And it was like, oh boy, like I'm really in trouble now. And keep in mind, at the time, I was building the agency not on my own. I was building it with this client of this person who was my first client, because we were trying to build the marketing agency together. And it got to a point where like she also felt pressure from her family, and she had to like go get a job. So then it was just like me left. It was like, okay, if this doesn't work, I'm in big trouble. But that made me to want to go after it more than it made me want to quit, because I felt like I didn't have an alternative. I would say I was gifted with the circumstance of lack of choice. A lot of people have choice. A lot of people in the Western world and developed economies and people who went to college, they have choice. In the sense that if this doesn't work, then they can fall back to their degree and go get a job and take interviews or whatever. I dropped out I was in Nigeria. Like if this didn't work out, there was nothing else. I was
Just be like
just in
homeless.
trouble. Exactly, literally. So it was like, what other option? I had to make it work. That's why I kept
And you
going.
use that to your benefit. Instead of saying, hey, look at how shit of a situation I'm in. And because of that, man, it's like over for me. Look at these Western countries, look at these kids, like, man, you know? But instead, you're like, because of that, I'm going to use it to my advantage. And you kind of embraced it. How were you able to kind of embrace that? Because it must have been hard, right? Especially in the mentorship program. Like 10,000 USD compared to, in comparison to 45 USD per month as a monthly wage in Nigeria. Like, what was your whole thinking and thought process behind that?
Yeah, I mean the thought process behind investing in the mentorship was really like, so recently I spoke about delusion, and I think about delusion as a practical action. Like, not many people think of delusion as just like this abstract thing. I actually itemize the steps of my delusion. And how I think of delusion is, who do I want to be? What identity do I see myself becoming in the next 12 months? Okay, at the time, my goal was making 50K a year. Like, I thought that was as good as it was going to get. And so I thought, okay, does the version of me that makes $50,000 a year, is that someone who can pay $10,000 for a mentorship? And the answer was yes. And how I see delusion is, you have to act like the person you want to be before you become that person. So you have to start acting like the version of you that makes 50K a year, that makes 10K a month, whatever your goal is. You have to start acting like that person before reality catches up to it, before you actually make it happen.
So it's sort of like making decisions now based on your future you and your dream you, so that you can actually create the input that results the output of your future you. Is that kind of the thinking? Because at the time, I'm sure you would not have been able to afford 10K just like that. Now you probably can, right? You can afford 10 of those 10Ks per month. But previously, like, getting to that point of affording that must have been very hard. Like, were you thinking about it? Were you like, man, what if this doesn't work?
Absolutely. It terrified me. Like, keep in mind, I couldn't even tell my parents that I was in 10K of debt, because I didn't have I didn't have 10K. To have 10K in Nigeria under like a typical 9 to 5, under the minimum wage, like you would have to save every month for like 20 years. And that's imagining you don't spend any penny of that money, which is virtually impossible. So like, I didn't have 10K anywhere. I had to borrow it. And hey, this is another thing where like the right actions led up to this moment, because the person, as a Nigerian, I don't even have access to someone who can borrow me 10K. Even if I wanted to borrow it, like, who's going to give it to me? And so my first client, who I'd built such a very good relationship with, knew someone, had a friend who had 10K. And so we borrowed the money together. And that was how I was able to afford it. But even then, it was like, now I'm taking on 10K of debt. What if this doesn't happen? And I'm just like, I get arrested or something because I can't repay this debt. But it's, what's the quote? It's something about, there is no rich without risk. You cannot
No
see
risk, no
success.
reward. Yeah.
Exactly. You can't see success without taking some sort of risk. You have to put your life on the line for the kind of, because what you've just done is, you've gone out and said that when you set your goals, you went out and literally said with a big microphone that you want to be better than 99% of people on earth. And so now you must take risks that 99% of people cannot take. And that's what.
So, wow. So from the start, you went through family troubles, financial troubles. Then you went, but with that mentorship, and then you went through another big trouble of taking 41 sales calls with no closes. And then what I assume is, then you were facing problems, with the fact that, I'm just going to say, the fact that you're from Nigeria and in Nigeria. How were you able to kind of change that perception? Because you mentioned, I think, previously that you were on your last call and you had to turn off your camera to show them, to build that authority. Like, tell me more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was, I would say like how I was able to close that first sales call was number one, coming to terms with my reality and the circumstance I was in. Because I feel like, and this is the balance of delusion and, humility, right? So initially, like, I deluded myself way too far to just like not recognize why people were refusing to buy from me. So I needed to calm down and like look from a third party lens and put myself in their shoes. Okay, I'm someone from a Western country. I'm jumping on the call with someone with a Nigerian accent, and this Nigerian guy is telling me that he can get me customers, he can make me money. Like, I would think you're a scammer. And then somewhere along the call, the light probably goes out and the internet shakes. It's like, how can you tell me you have skills that can help me market my business when the light is going out, when the internet is shaking? Like, there are all of these things. And so I thought about it. I said, okay, well, some of this I cannot control because these are circumstances beyond what I could afford at the time. And so what I did was I thought about what I could control. Keeping this in mind, I was like, I did not want anything other than the offer to be on the mind of the prospect. Like, I did not want, if there's a reason why they would not close, let it be because the offer is not valuable enough to them, not because they don't trust the person in front of them.
And not because you're Nigerian.
Because I'm Nigerian. So I started to re-engineer my circumstances, and I will jump on calls. I would rephrase how I speak. So people would always be curious when they see me and wonder where I'm located in the world. And this is like the first big problem. If the moment you say Nigeria, then it's like trouble. So I would change how I speak, and I would say, oh, well, the company is based in the United States, which is true. I had a company in the United States, and I would say I am actually on European time zone, which is true as well, because the time zone of Nigeria is the same as Central European time. And so I would assume that the reason they're asking where I am is because of my time zone. So with the moment they're like, where are you? I'm like, yeah, I'm on Central European time. How about you? Yours is Central time, right? And then like that way, I get them out of that mindset. So then it's just like you just
asking about exactly what country, because once you use the word Nigeria, it's like, hey, it's over. Even if they have a good reaction, in the back of their mind, it's like, it's over.
Exactly. So when I actually closed that first client, what it was a follow-up call, and the follow-up call was for 8 p.m. at night, and at this time it was already dark and the electricity was out. I actually had a generator, but I couldn't be stressed to go put on. It was like my fifth call that day. I was tired. I was like, I'm not putting on this generator to just get rejected again. So what I did was I left my camera off, and upon starting the call, I immediately said, hey, I'm on a trip right now. I traveled for a conference and I left my webcam at home. That's why you can't see my video. And the prospect was like, oh, like that's completely fine. I already know who you are, no problem. So my video was off. Again, I wasn't judged by the circumstance of Nigeria, and we were able to just focus on the offer and the value that I can provide. And then the person was like they didn't see any reason why they shouldn't invest. And then boom, closed.
Did you, funny question, did you end up telling them that you were based in Nigeria afterwards?
Yes.
What was their reaction to that?
They just laughed. I mean, interestingly,
I mean, you got the crazy results anyways, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like at that point, it was pointless. Like they didn't care. It was funny because like one of my meetings, obviously like my video would have to come on, and so I said I'm traveling in Nigeria right now, right? I came to see my parents, and then like the third meeting, the fourth meeting, I'm still in the same background, and you're like, dude, are you still traveling?
And I'm like, still with my parents, bro. Yeah.
Well, actually, guys, like this is the situation, and everyone just laughed, and like at that point, like what would like they're making money, they saw results, so like it's like
I wouldn't care anymore.
Yeah, Exactly. No one cares anymore. The same thing actually happened with my business partner, Hannah. I used like the same tactic. It was the same thing. I left my webcam, and then she closes a client. Later on, she was like, "That day you told me you left your webcam. That was not true, was it?" And then we just laughed about it.
Well, yeah, ultimately, I think it's about making the sale based on everything around the results and not what you look like, your skin color, your country, your resources, but rather around the results you get. So, how do you approach that now? Like, are you proud? Do you just tell people, like, man, I've come so far? Like, look at me, look at most Nigerians and look at me. Like, if I can do that, surely I can grow your business by the 30% or 50%. How do you market yourself and the fact that you're still in Nigeria, like you're in Nigeria and you're able to get these results?
Now like I market myself like proudly as a Nigerian. Like, it's more from the circumstance of the fact that, dude, the systems are so good that I could make this succeed as a Nigerian living in Nigeria. Like, if it's, you probably can do 5 times better than me. Like I almost gaslight them. It's like, dude, like, why aren't you making more money than me? Like, if this could work for me over here, and like you're living with much better circumstances, imagine what you could do. And they're like, "Oh, damn." Like they see it instantly.
not,
Like,
yeah.
they're challenged. Exactly.
I see, I see. So now that you're, at 100K per month and you mostly help coaches, is that correct? Like, tell me a little bit about your offer. So you help coaches, you provide coaching calls, you give them the right systems, you build appointment setting systems, marketing systems. Like, what do you mainly help? What are the challenges you solve? And then how do you mainly do it?
Yeah. So what we do is we partner with high achieving experts and coaches. So I'm talking about these days when we say coaches, most people interpret that as like the typical online coach. The kind of people we partner with are actually like, they have like real, they went to coaching school. They have like coaching certifications. They study psychology in the university. Like, these are like accredited people. These are people who have been in practice for years, not just like online course sort of thing. And so they already have like their practice in place. They're just living off of referrals, living off of, family and friends buying for their service. And they want to move from that to being able to predictably get clients, being able to predictably like market themselves, put themselves out there and have a stranger say that he wants to work with them. That's why they come to us. And how we make that happen for them is end-to-end client acquisition. So we have a mechanism that we call CEO, Connect, Engage, Offer. So we help you connect with the right person for your offer, help you engage with that person and pre-sell them on your offer, and then get you to that point where you can now make them a high-ticket offer for anywhere between 3 to 10,000 US dollars.
I see, I see. So what's your big goal? And like, you're at 100K per month USD. I'm sure you have enough money to put food on the table, buy some nice clothes, buy some nice watches. Money is not really probably, the driving factor around going from 100 to 200K per month, 300K per month. What's the goal for you now? Like, what's the big goal for you now?
Great question. The big immediate goal for us right now in the business is to reach 1,000 experts and coaches. That's the big goal right now in the business. Like, I know like the typical answer to these questions, especially like from 100K, is to say, okay, I want to get to 250K, I want to get to 500K. Not to say I don't care about money. I care about money. I like those numbers, but I think they would come as a byproduct of wanting to genuinely change people's lives. And right now, the pain we feel when we look at the market is that we look at people who are incredibly good at what they do, who have like literal superpowers. One of our clients had a client who was able to avoid cancer surgery because of her health. And so it's like, imagine having a skill that could save someone from cancer and not having enough people know about that. So like for us, it pains us that there are people out there who have this skill and don't know how to reach as many people with that skill as possible. And we've made it our mission to reach 1,000 of them and help them scale their impact so that more lives can be changed. And if these people change other people's lives, it means we get to be a part of that because we give them the system to be able to change other people's lives. So like that's the immediate goal. And you can imagine if we reach 1,000 people, what that means in terms of, revenue for the business.
So where are you guys at the moment? Like out of 1,000, you guys are 50, 60-ish or?
Yeah, so we launched the offer around 13, 14 months ago at this point. And the last time I checked the numbers, we're about 60 something. I'm not sure the exact number, but it's above 60 right now. And we're actually looking to make sure we hit 100 before the year runs out. And then from there, just like scale to the next level.
I see. So, I mean, it's more than money now. What have you done in terms of helping those around you? Because I think it's more important in your community because there are a lot of underprivileged people. What have you done to kind of help your community, the guys that need help, the guys that need advice? Are you giving back? Like, what's kind of your way of saying those guys that helped you out or those guys that need help? How are you helping them?
Yeah, there's a big the reputation of Nigerians around the world right now isn't the best, and I want to be partly responsible for changing that. Most like you look at a Nigerian, you think scammer, you think cheap labor, you think so many different things, but you don't think someone who is capable of making 100K per month, right? And I want to be partly responsible for changing that mindset by giving back to the community around me. So Nigerians are extremely hardworking and intelligent people, but unfortunately lack opportunity. And it's so interesting because like the privilege, like when you say underprivilege, it goes beyond just like money. It also goes to information that is accessible. For example, a lot of things that I learned from that 10K mentorship changed my mindset, changed my it literally rebirthed me. It made me the person I am today. And I just always think about the fact that, okay, what if I never paid that money to learn what I learned? Like imagine the debt of ignorance that I would have. And that's currently the challenge here. Like the privilege is also in lack of information. And if I can be partly responsible for making that information that is charged, that is as expensive as 10K in the Western world, almost for free here, then a lot more people would be able to rise up and, climb up to the level that, hopefully even more than I have accomplished. And, part of my action steps to make that happen is accepting invitations like a TEDx event going on in one of the cities in Nigeria. They invited me to be a speaker in the month of August. So I'm actually going to go there and share some sauce for the young, and skilled experts of Nigeria to be able to build real businesses like this.
I mean, congrats, man. Which is one thing I kind of really want to touch on, and I see so much with my clients, with my agency. Got a few friends that come to me for help. I mean, at the start, you weren't broke for inflow. You weren't broke to improve yourself. And a lot of my friends, and especially as they, make a little bit of money, is they go, hey, now I'm at 50K a month, or now I'm at 100K per month. I don't need to go, back against the wall and invest in myself and keep learning because I'm comfortable. How are you still learning and upskilling yourself, even at 100K per month, knowing that you're living comfortably in Nigeria?
I would say it's, like anyone who says, oh, I don't need to pay for courses or I don't need to get another mentorship, they're just ignorant, right? The level of time that you buy back for yourself in terms of speed of accomplishment is insane. Being able to find someone who has accomplished what you've already accomplished and give them money and have them collapse time for you to be able to accomplish in much quicker time, it's almost illegal. I would say that 10K mentorship that I had is another 5K after that. Those are the two reasons why I'm at 100K today. And it's I teleported, I jumped. Every everyone from my past life right now in Nigeria, like they knew me under the identity of, okay, dropout, has no future, we're probably better than him. And now that has changed to them asking me questions on how they can succeed, on how they, because like the path they went down, is something that doesn't satisfy them now. And it's like that changed so fast within the space of like 10 months to 1 year because of the amount of information that I got from that one mentorship. So you always want to invest in knowledge wherever you get the chance. It's never a waste because it all adds up together. Somewhere along the line is going to be useful for you. The first thing that we did, my business partner and I, the moment we hit 100K, was take $30,000 of that money and invest it into another mastermind. Because it's like we had new goals and we knew that our knowledge, the knowledge we had expired. The knowledge we had to get to 100K expired at 100K. And so we cannot get to the next level without getting new knowledge. Like it's literally impossible. It's just like you riding a bike and then wanting to suddenly do stunts with the bike. Like you need someone who is a good stuntman to then show you how to do. Otherwise, you're just going to be a regular bike rider.
I see. So it's like paying for someone to teach you how to ride the bike. That person and that amount of skill cannot allow you to do stunts. So then you have to get someone to pay someone to teach you how to do the stunt. So I think it's the same thing, same game, just different levels, right? It's the same exact game. If you don't know anything, you pay, saves you time, it boosts you forward, it teleports you. But it just means you still have to invest in yourself, and you just have to invest bigger proportional amounts to what you have and to what you want to achieve. Is that sort of it?
Absolutely. Perfectly put.
Gotcha. So I think one thing that I see a lot of the people that watch this podcast and people that, I'm friends with is they go, you're making 100K per month. What is keeping you going like day to day, right? Like you have your big goals, obviously, that you want to achieve now. How are you able to get that many bits of motivation day to day? Do you embed this into your daily routine? Do you do like journaling? Do you do your ice baths? Like what do you do day to day that allows you to continue going and hit that bigger goal that you wanted to hit? Because it's bigger, it's probably harder.
Yeah, absolutely. I always like to joke about this. I'm terrible at productivity, routines. Like the typical thing everyone has to do. Like, I'm much better now because I go to the gym, which is like something that I've tried my best to stay consistent in. But it's like the typical thing of like wake up early, make your bed, ice baths, red lights, night light, like I suck at those things. Like I was just never the person. I don't know. It felt like so much work. It felt like trying to do them was, like it was more work than the actual work that I needed to do. So I never did those things. I was always able to just like get up and just like go straight to work. I think it's pain. Like I just had so much pain that I did not need anything to motivate me. And even at this stage, like my biggest productivity hack is looking for pain. And when I hit 100K, which is a very comfortable place to be at, to be able to now go back to working hard, I needed to think of my why again. I needed to think about, wait, have I actually accomplished what I'm looking for? And no, I haven't. Like one of the biggest things that I want in life is to be recognized for making huge impact in either my community or somewhere else. Like I haven't yet done that. I have done that on a small scale, but not big of a scale. So now I'm upset that I'm not that person. And every day I wake up in anger, chasing that goal. So I don't need, something else to motivate me. That alone is enough.
One thing I found extremely fascinating about your story is you kind of removed all of the bullshit and all of the excuses around your come up and just around every reason you would fail. So for example, a lot of people that come to me, they go, Nathan, because I'm 16 years old, I don't think I can make 100K per month. Because I'm Nigerian, I don't think I can make 100K per month, right? because of this, because of that reason, because, I grew up in a not so privileged environment in the US, my parents making six figures a year. I don't think I can
Yeah.
make 100K per month. Like, what do you say to these people? Like, is it just cut the shit, just get to work? Or what would you say to them?
Quit. You're right. You can make 100K per month. So stop. Don't try. You know, these people, like people who sound like this, they're looking to be pampered. And I think like that's the like they want you to start giving them therapy for like 1 hour, and it's like no. Like quit. Whatever makes you when you quit, whatever makes you uncomfortable about that decision of quitting is the reason why you want to make 100K per month. And you need to stop letting your imposter syndrome hold you back. I like to say that one of my biggest advantages was coming from a place of less privilege, right? I remember watching one of the training videos in the mentorship program I went through, and my mentor was talking to people about pain, because like if there were 600 people in the community, and 599 of them were from a developed country. And one of the biggest problems he was addressing is what you're talking about, the fact that they can't find a reason to do the work. And he was talking about the fact that like you don't understand that you live in the easiest time of life, because 100 years ago people were going to war and dying for World War. Like that was real trouble. Like that, like doing outreach is not painful. Waking up and just having someone kill you, like nah, that's painful. And he was talking about the fact that there are people in Africa who don't have electricity, who don't have constant internet, and don't have the privilege that they had. And I was listening to that as a Nigerian, and I was like, this guy doesn't know that there's someone in here who like fits this exact same criteria. And it's like the fact that I know that I have to make it work. I didn't come from comfort. I had to do so much to get to a level of comfort is the reason why I was able to like just constantly. While for people who come from a bit of comfort, their parents are comfortable, they don't have a real reason to really want to make money. It can be very hard for them to put their head down and do difficult things, to do the sales calls, to do the outreach, because they don't need it. And so the first thing they need to do is find out why. Like, why on earth do you want to make 10K a month? Like, I mean, find a deeper reason beyond the fact that someone on YouTube is making 10K. Why is that money important to you? What is it that you want to add to the planet? And that motivation or that reason that you find is what would now make you do the work.
And I guess in the community, like we're talking about imposter syndrome, like in the community, probably like most people were in foreign countries, like in Western countries, that you were like the only person in Nigeria. And we were speaking about this before, like your mindset was like the biggest differentiating factor. You could have said, because I am Nigerian and other people are not, it means I'm the odd one out and therefore I will fail. And instead, you said, because I'm Nigerian and the odd one out, it means I'm special and I'm going to use that to my advantage and I'm going to use that to succeed. Was that kind of your thinking? Because you could have went either way. If you went the former way, you would have probably failed, right? Back to your 9 to 5, homeless, whatever. But you decided to go the other way. Why did you think of that specific point of thinking?
Absolutely. I looked at everyone in the community and like, especially when I started to realize that there were people who were struggling to do the work, like if anything, it motivated me to want to chase after the goal further, because it made me realize that I can outwork every single one of them. Because I came from conditions that required me to work 2 times more than everyone else for less reward. Like I guarantee you, there are people in Nigeria working harder than anyone in the Western world and only earning $45 a month. If you give that person the opportunity to make $5,000 from one client, oh my God, like he's not going to stop, because it's like he didn't even know that was possible, and he was already working hard. I said this earlier, I'm going to repeat myself, but when I was in high school, about to graduate, but I had like a final year exam that I needed to write, and my parents were making me write that exam 1 year prior to my graduation. So if it was a 12th grade exam, then I was in 11th grade at the time. And my routine for like 9 months straight was school at 8 a.m., come back at 3 p.m., 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. I eat and I rest. My lesson tutor comes in to teach me the 12th grade classes from 4:30 till 10 p.m. And what would happen in that period of time is, because by 7 p.m., the electricity will typically go out in Nigeria and everywhere is dark, my dad would put on his generator from 7 p.m., and he would never turn off the gen until 1 a.m. in the morning. Now, throughout the period of time that the generator is on, my dad is charging a lamp. And then he brings that lamp to me at 1 a.m. And now I have to keep studying until that lamp goes out. And the lamp has like a 2-hour, lifespan before it goes off. One day I get upset and I go meet my dad and I'm like, I feel like this is abuse. I feel like I should report you to the police or something. Like this, it's like, this is inhumane, right? Because I have to wake up by 6 for school. I only get 3 hours of sleep.
You're just sleep and you work like 9 hours a day, 10 hours after school.
Exactly. After school. And my dad, like, what my dad was doing is he was trying to engineer the perfect circumstance for me to not have an excuse to fail the exams. My dad was always the kind of person who wants to be the parent that says, I provided everything for you to be able to see success. And so if it didn't work, that it's your fault. It's because you didn't study. So I went to him with the mindset of like, well, I'm not even studying the whole time. Okay. Like, let's make this more productive, because it's impossible to study for that long. And he was like, yeah, he knows I'm not studying the whole time. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, he knows I'm not studying the whole time, but he's trying to build capacity in me to be able to do one thing for a very long period of time without getting rewarded. And that has not left me till today. Like, in the dark times, even now, I'm the guy who's still up at 3 a.m. working on the next project for the company. And then I have to wake up early for the next day to start. And I consider that to be a huge advantage that I had over many people, not just abroad, but even here in Nigeria, because most people just did not go through that kind of thing.
So it's about, I guess, using your disadvantages to your advantage and not seeing it as a disadvantage. That's number one. That's one thing I picked up. And number two is just understanding, like, to give you some context, so many of my clients wanted to come to me, it's like, how can I get results in the next 2 weeks, 4 weeks? And I'm like, no, how can you get results in the next 2 months, 4 months, 4 years? Extend the time range. Don't expect results so quickly, and then give yourself that push so that you can get results after. Is that kind of your biggest lesson if you were to give anyone advice?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, you want to, I wouldn't even, like, how I would position it is not monetary even. Like, do not look for how much can I make. Look for how many sales calls can I take? How many, outreach numbers can I put in this week? Because one of the biggest challenge of entrepreneurship is that it takes so long for you to get to the money. And before entrepreneurship, we were conditioned to be rewarded for very little things. So you write an exam and you get an A, yay, reward, right? You write a test and you get a score, yay, reward. You go to your 9 to 5, end of the month, you get a salary, reward. Like, you're used to getting rewarded for any amount of work that you put in. And the thing that makes people feel frustrated with work in entrepreneurship is because they do it and nobody claps. Nobody gives them any, there's no A, there's no salary, there's nothing. And then it just feels like because of that, they think it's not working. So you need to like recondition your mind and redefine what you're doing and understand that, okay, I shouldn't be waiting until I make 10K a month to reward myself. I should understand the fact that, okay, my immediate goal is 20 sales calls a month. And the moment I hit 20 sales calls a month, amazing. Like, I need to reward myself somehow by giving myself a round of applause. Or I need to go sometimes buy yourself a drink or something to make you feel good about it. And then now hit the next goal. Because as a byproduct of all the action steps that you need to take to make 10K a month, as a byproduct of being consistent at doing it, you will make 10K a month. So if you can just break down that goal into like bite-sized action steps and reward yourself for being able to take those action steps, then it becomes inevitable that you hit the goal. It's just a matter of time.
I see. That's absolutely fascinating. Like, you kind of you just talking to me, show your, like, that itself is showing to the viewers that, like, If someone in Nigeria can do that, then you have no excuses to not be able to succeed. And all of your excuses that you think, oh man, it's the end of the world, it's a load of shit, right? Because it's nothing compared to you, lights going off, the internet's, unstable, just have a bad reputation, like your country, bad association. I mean, for you specifically, if there were like three biggest takeaways that anyone could understand and anyone could implement today, what would they be? They could be mindset, they could be thinking, they could be actual like strategies. What would you say?
Great question. Biggest takeaways. Number one, you need to understand why you want to see success. Because without having a big reason for it, it's not going to happen. I was speaking to someone who is currently in the process of starting her marketing agency, and she had her first sales call. And like from the first 3 minutes of the call, I already knew the call was going in the wrong way. And I was like, why did you do this? So it was the beginning of the call, and she didn't set the frame of the call the right way. There wasn't enough authority. She downplayed herself. And I was like, why, like this right here? Why did you do this? And, she was hiding initially, but by the time we got down to it, it was because of the fact that she didn't think she didn't have a big reason for wanting to be a business owner. She was like, I don't believe I'm a CEO. Like, why don't you believe you're a CEO? Like, why, like, do you just want to make money so you can buy more clothes? Because that's a very stupid reason. And even like God is going to look at you and say, you don't deserve the money because you're not going to use it well. And so by the time we got down to the root of it, we're able to find the fact that she was downplaying herself because her parents did not believe in her while she was growing up. And so somewhere at the back of her mind, that is always a voice in her head. And I was like, well, now you need to confront this under your new reason, right? Like the new reason you have now is you want to be recognized and prove your parents wrong. That's why you're doing this now, which is a stronger reason than wanting to buy clothes. And so you can just tell that taking that new mindset, she would position herself differently on the call and eventually start seeing success. Second thing you want to do is once you set that goal, you want to be relentless at pursuing it. And if you're someone in tough circumstances in a developing country like myself, or you're in a Western country and things are just tough for you financially, the hardest thing to do is to be able to set a goal and continue at it without seeing any reward for a long period of time. So you want to befriend delayed gratification. I feel like people have unrealistic expectations when they come into business. They enter business because they think it's better than everything else. It's better than their 9 to 5.
Faster, it's better, it's cooler, but it's not.
Faster, it's better, it's cool. It's pain. And you need to know that at the start. Like you need to prepare your mind and know that, hey, life is going to test me. And there's a saying that I like that I adopted, months ago. And that saying goes like this: the universe is not yet a crazy enough place that it would reward people who are undeserving of it. And so when you set a goal, what is happening is God is watching you and waiting to see if you deserve this thing that you claim you want. It's just like your 5-year-old child walks up to you and is like, Dad, give me the keys to the Porsche. Like, you're not going to give because he's 5, right? Now, if he shows you over a period of time that he's a grown up, maybe he becomes 18, he's responsible around the house, then you can be like, okay, now you can have the keys to the Porsche. But the reason why he won't give you the keys to the Porsche is because it's not because he thinks you're going to crash his car, it's because he thinks you're going to kill yourself, and he doesn't want you to die. So sometimes God will look at you and test you because he wants to know that answering your prayer or giving you the success that you're asking for is not going to destroy you. So you first need to go through that trial phase and understand that it's a trial phase. It's not forever. Because sometimes people let their brain tell them that this is their forever life. And they need to know that, hey, in 1 year, like if you do this for 1 year, like I was in the worst circumstance anyone can be in. And it only took me 1 year to make it work. I know people in the Western world who in 3 months they figure it out, in 6 months they figure it out. So it's probably going to be so much faster and easier for you if you just keep showing up every single day. Third takeaway would be you need to understand the fact that you're not entitled to anything. As delusional as you need to be to accomplish your goals, you also need to realize that at the current state you are at, you are not yet entitled to anything. I see a lot of people with skills, they're good, no doubt, but there are a million good people in the world and they're not millionaires. Okay? Oh, I write great landing page copy. Okay. Like you're not special. Because of that, then they think, oh, I can earn 30K a month. No, you can't. And you need to put down that pride and humble yourself and understand the fact that you still have a huge ignorance debt that you need to pay, because there's a lot that you do not know. And there's a lot you need to humble yourself to learn from other people. And you see, with time, it's not just your mentors that will be your teacher. It's not just YouTube videos that will be your teachers. It's also your peers and the people around you. And you cannot learn from the people around you if you're not humble enough to receive knowledge from them. And so just knowing that I cannot be entitled and I need to, first of all, humble myself before I start making money is going to make you so much money. And keeping that mindset will make you more money over a longer period of time. The moment you feel like you're the smartest person in the room and you're entitled to all the good things is the moment your growth will stop. Because then you feel like you can, like there's nothing left to learn. So those 3 things will be my takeaway.
Very fascinating, man. And I think just for me, like the 2 takeaways that I'll take from this call, I think are these 2 things. Number 1 is use the disadvantages that you have, reframe and reposition and re-brainwash yourself and make them into positives, into those whys and into advantages that you can use to succeed. That's one thing I'm taking away from you. And the second thing, and that's like super, super fascinating too, is the fact that you're using delusional in the right way. So what I mean by you're using delusion in the right way. So what I mean by that is you're delusional as in when you're setting goals, right? The hard work, the never give up, the discipline, the persistence, you're using that amount of delusion. You're using the delusion there, but you aren't using the delusion as in, oh, I've never had a client before, but I believe I'm, the 30K per month guy, and you have to pay me 30K because I believe I'm 30K per month. Like, man, you haven't even had a single client yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's humbling yourself in the right moments, but also having delusion in the other moments that you actually need. That's 2 from me. What do you think of that?
Amazing, man. Perfect takeaway. I was really looking forward to the audience having a true Nigerian experience and seeing the lights go off. But unfortunately for everyone, I live in a much better part of Nigeria now, and I get like 22 hours of light daily. So the lights did not go out, thankfully, due to new circumstances. But like in the past, it wouldn't look like this.
And let's see. Yeah, man. Look, your Wi-Fi did get blurry a little bit, but I think, hey, bit by bit, as you get richer and richer, and as you make more money, soon that would happen. Wow. But yeah, man, let's call it here. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comments below. I'll put in the socials for Ora as well in the description. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Ora. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Take it easy, guys. Cheers.
Hey, like and subscribe, guys. Cheers.